2.5 millennia ago, a man, rather a prince, got off his horse-driven chariot and left his palace in search of truth. He left his palace and all the worldly comforts one could possibly enjoy and set out in the quiet of the night on foot. A few years later, he found the truth, and for the rest of his enlightened life, he shared his discovery with the world, and he did so walking. This man was the Buddha, and the truth he shared with the world is the Dharma. But our focus on this journey that we are about to embark upon is on the fact that he walked.
Historically speaking, the Pad Yatra originated, I would say, from what Buddha Shakyamuni said. He said that my sons and daughters, in the future there will come a time where people will doubt my teaching. People will doubt that I even exist. So at that time, people should go to the place where Buddha Shakyamuni was born, where he passed away, where he gave his teaching, and where he gave his, where he got enlightened. Whether you are Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana, all of us, we visit this place and we know about these places. When we go on the pilgrimage, we realize that as far as desire is content, it's unlimited. There's no limit to what you want. You might have, you get one car, you need 2 cars, you need 3 houses. Money also, there's nothing to limit. But what you want and what you need is something that is totally different. For these 10 days, all we have is what we have on our back. So we have 3 meals a day, we sleep with the shelter. So we are, for 10 days, if you can survive like that and happily, definitely you can survive for a lifetime also. And also when you go to the remote places, we see many people who are much more materially poor than us. But in terms of spirit, they are happy, they are content with who they are and their way of life. It gives us idea of the difference between need and the want. And that is very important, because if you do not know this, we will never have the confidence to face ups and downs in our life. Because we feel that without this I cannot survive, without this I am a nobody, I cannot lead my life. But when you realize this, the need is limited and want is unlimited, you know that whatever happens in the life, up and down, through the training of Pad Yatra, we will be able to deal with it. I feel that like that.
The tiny kingdom of Bhutan is nestled in the lap of the Himalayas, with a population of less than 800,000 citizens. While the country herself only opened her doors to the outside world in the late 1950s with the construction of motorable roads, Buddhism, on the other hand, made its way into Bhutan as far back as in the 8th century. Local legend and Buddhist scriptures say, on the back of a flying tigress, in the form of the magnificent lotus-born Guru Padma Sambhava.
Bhutan, I know that Guru Padma Sambhava, the second Buddha, and Shabdul Rinpoche, the Yatris, these two are the most important enlightened beings for Bhutan, and their holy place definitely has to be visited. Also, I think it's fortunately a very beautiful place.
Upon this mystical backdrop is where our journey unfolds.
Bumthang was like from the entire 10-day, we just walked. There was, we didn't use any other means of transportation. It was one of the most kind of true Pad Yatra in every sense.
Pad Yatra literally means a journey on foot. The word holds its origin in the Sanskrit language, the ancient language of the gods. In general, it refers to a walking pilgrimage to sacred sites. But the Pad Yatra, led by Drukpa Masters, has a particular modern relevance.
The walking pilgrimage is considered uncommon, but it has become uncommon nowadays. In the previously before, everybody was doing walking pilgrimage. There was no car. So everybody, when they want to go to India, Tibet, Bhutan, they had to walk. So it was something very, very natural. And it is said that among the pilgrimage, physical pilgrimage, the best form of pilgrimage is by prostration. So there's a tradition where people prostrate from one end to another, one place. The second is the walking. And I guess the last one is by car. Whatever you do in the Buddhist practice, whether it's the chanting, nyungne, pilgrimages, it is to either to tame the mind or provide a condition which is conducive for us to realize the nature of our own mind, the positive nature, Buddha nature, you can say, within our mind. So when you are on the pilgrimage, walking, it is a really very great way of taking away a lot of things which makes us attached, which makes us proud, which makes us jealous.
The Buddha walked his entire life, so one can claim that his life, especially after his enlightenment, was one Pad Yatra. With the passage of time, different traditions and eminent personalities have also undertaken and led their own Pad Yatras for various reasons. Most notable and remarkable amongst them being the Mahatma Gandhi's historic Salt March, also known as the Dandi March in 1930, covering roughly 390 kilometers. And the famous march by Nobel Peace Prize laureate Martin Luther King Jr. in 1965 from Selma to the state capital of Alabama, Montgomery, covering a distance of 87 kilometers along the American highway.
The delayed Freedom March to Montgomery begins.
These walks were an act of protest towards social injustice. The Pad Yatra is a plea for ecological justice and spiritual awakening.
When you are cushioned in the modern comfort, you really are kind of, you lose the connection between the nature and yourself. For example, when you are drinking water from all the way from mineral water, you don't even understand that why it's important to protect the stream. Why you need to protect the sea? Just buy from the water, comes from mineral water company, which is not true. It comes from the stream. And the stream is dependent on the rain, which is dependent on the trees and entire the environmental ecological system. So it really makes you understand how connected we are.
So it was in the month of November 2013 that the Pad Yatra movement was actually initiated in Bhutan.
For example, when you're walking, you may be a very rich person or very important person, but in the pilgrimage, you are all equal. You are walking equally with everybody else. We are no better, no worse than anybody. Nothing to boost the ego.
The first Pad Yatra, conducted in Bumthang, had 110 participants or Pad Yatris. They came from all walks of life, ordained as well as lay practitioners. 65 of them were Bhutanese and 35 were foreigners.
I believe that, the journey in the pilgrimage, like climbing a mountain, is a metaphor for life and for spiritual progress. Because, as you go through this, you find a lot of obstacles. There are a lot of ups and downs. You face a lot of problems. Like for me, maybe my fitness level, altitude sickness. And I think that's where you get to put into real practice the teachings of Dharma, and spiritual progress can be made from there.
For the duration of 10 days, led by His Eminence Gyalwa Dokhampa, the 110 participants will walk the path of the Dragon Yogis and live as one happy family.
When you are on the pilgrimage, basically we'll be getting up around 5:30 a.m. and then eating our breakfast, and then we do our prayers, and then we start walking. And when we are walking, physically we'll be doing walking, speech. So that means when we are doing physically walking towards a holy place with the motivation that I will transform my mind. So physically we are not killing anybody, hurting anybody. And especially also during the pilgrimage, we recommend not to talk. Because when we talk, sometimes we say hurtful things, cheating things, gossiping. So mind is also turned towards the positive mind of benefiting others, selfless mind, I would say. So when body, speech and mind are constantly turned towards the positive things, definitely there is an inner transformation.
Pilgrimage also caters only vegetarian meals, Rinpoche himself being not only vegetarian, but also an outspoken advocate and supporter of the lifestyle.
Let's examine the essence of the Buddhist teaching, which is compassion, not harming others, benefiting others. When you have that, everything else comes into the place. A Rinpoche doesn't have to teach you what you should do, you should not do.
While His Eminence the Gyalwa Dokhampa needs no introduction for those of us who have taken his word as Dharma and his deeds as the enlightened expression of a Bodhisattva, let us take a few moments to deepen our devotion by discovering a little about Rinpoche's lineage and preceding lives. term Kamtril or Gyalwa Dokhampa literally translates as the reincarnation from Kham in eastern Tibet. Guru Rinpoche has repeatedly prophesied the coming of the Kamtril lineage in both the old as well as the newly revealed Dharma teaching. In accordance with these profound prophecies, the first Gyalwa Dokhampa, Ngawang Tenphel, was born in Kham in 1569 during the time of the 4th Gyalwang Drukpa. During his early education, he understood with little or no effort all the arts of Rigne, whereupon he naturally knew how to read and write the scriptures, play religious instruments, to carve and paint, and to perform religious rituals. The first Khamtul Rinpoche established many retreat centers, educational institutes, monasteries and nunneries in Kham. There were an estimated 200 branches of the Khampagar monasteries in the Kham region alone. After sharing his wisdom and realization with countless number of beings, the first Gyalwa Dokhampa passed away in 1637. But the sun rose again and again in an unbroken line of enlightened masters until the 9th Gyalwa Dokhampa, who we are fortunate to have in our midst in 2 enlightened reincarnations. But before we speak of the 9th, let's take a few moments to pay our respect to the previous Gyalwa Dokhampa. As prophesied upon the passing of the 7th Gyalwa Dokhampa, the 8th Khamtul Rinpoche was born into the family of his mother as a grandson. While the infant child started showing extraordinary signs just a few months after his birth, it was when he was 4 years old that he would be formally enthroned as the 8th Gyalwa Dokhampa. The 8th Gyalwa Dokhampa received an excellent monastic education under the guidance of various great masters. He also received the complete Drukpa lineage teachings and initiations. Rinpoche was also a very accomplished artist. He was adept at painting, metalwork, architecture, wood carving, and tailoring. The 8th Gyalwa Dokhampa traveled extensively throughout Tibet, giving teachings and performing sadhanas, as well as spending long periods in retreat. He was tireless in his bodhisattva vows to save all sentient beings. During the Cultural Revolution in Tibet, Khamtul Rinpoche left for India and settled in Tashijong in the northern Indian state of Himachal Pradesh. Later in life, Rinpoche was invited to Bhutan by the royal family, where he visited many of the holy places and also gave initiations and teachings. Rinpoche passed away on the 5th of January 1980 at the age of 49 at Trongsa. As bodhisattvas vow to not attain nirvana out of compassion for sentient beings, and there are no limits to how and where they may incarnate to benefit sentient beings, the 8th Gyalwa Dokhampa has returned to our world in 2 reincarnations, Gyalwa Dokhampa Shedrup Nyima and Gyalwa Dokhampa Jigme Pema Nyinjadh. His Eminence the 9th Gyalwa Dokhampa, popularly known as Khamtul Rinpoche, Jigme Pema Nyinjadh, was recognized by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, His Holiness the 12th Gyalwang Drukpa, and His Eminence the 1st Thukse Rinpoche. His Eminence was born into the family of His Holiness the 12th Gyalwang Drukpa, who is also Rinpoche's root teacher. Rinpoche started his education at Druk Thupten Sanghacheling Monastery in Darjeeling and then went on to study and complete a 9-year course to receive his master's degree in Buddhist philosophy from Tangu Monastic University in Bhutan. Rinpoche's root gurus are His Holiness the Gyalwang Drukpa, His Holiness the 68th Jekhenpo Tenzi Dendrup, the 70th Jekhenpo of Bhutan, His Holiness Trukujimi Chedra, and many other teachers of other lineages as well. For the last decade and a half, since the year 2000, His Eminence has been traveling extensively and sharing his wisdom and experience with students from all over the world.
If we are very honest with ourselves, I think there is nobody in this room whose life went on the track. I think all of us, we must have, gone off track somewhere or another.
The Pad Yatra is thus an ideal expression of Rinpoche's boundless wisdom, translating as a modern approach to an ancient practice where the simple act of walking becomes the means to enlightenment.
One of the things that we come to realize during the Pad Yatra, when we really connect with the nature, is that how dependent we are on everybody and especially on environment. For example, when you're feeling hot it's very hot, a shade gives us so much difference. And when you are thirsty and you can have and you don't have to worry about, at least in Bhutan, that whether this water is polluted or not. You know it is a mountain spring water. You can just drink from there and quench your thirst. And when you're walking in such an environment where the oxygen is clear, you truly appreciate the pristine environment of Bhutan. Also makes you realize that how we human beings like to feel that we are independent. Just because we have a job, we have a car, but actually even if you have everything in the world, we are still very much interdependent.
While nothing can compare to actually walking in the footsteps of the Dragon Yogis, let us get a glimpse of the sacred quest filled with challenges and discovery in the 2 Pad Yatras that have been conducted in Bhutan so far. The 2013 Bumthang Pad Yatra was conducted from the 1st to the 10th of November, during which time the Yatris or pilgrims visit 10 very holy and sacred sites in the picturesque valley of Bumthang.
The pilgrimage in reality is especially about transforming the mind. So that's why when you go on the Neko, we take a commitment. We start, for example, Doshula. Usually we start in Doshula. So there we take a commitment that for this, 10 days, I will forget my ego. My ego is going on holiday.
On the second day, led by Rinpoche, we visit and pay our respect to the sacred sites in and around Tharpaling.
In terms of common Buddhist pilgrimages, Bodh Gaya and all, very important. Every Buddhist must visit these places, definitely. But at the same time, there is no reason to, not to appreciate what you have in your own background, so to speak. If there is a Buddha statue in your own home and in another place, you cannot say which is more holy or which is less holy. And also Bhutan, when I go through these holy places, there are some amazing things, holy places full of blessings, self-arising letters, footprints. Some of the unbelievable treasures are there.
On the 3rd day, we trek from Tharpaling to Tangbi, a grueling walk that takes 7 hours via Kikipu, which stands at a height of 3,700 meters above sea level.
Personally, it's a joy to walk. I usually travel like this. I'm also very impressed and so wonderful to see the elder people in the group and their stamina and how there's only happy faces, so it's very wonderful to see.
Day 4 of the Pad Yatra finds us trekking from Tangbi to Chokortu, a 6 hours walk. We make camp at Zangling, near the ruins of the recently excavated Tarpham Dzong. On the 5th day of the Pad Yatra, we start early, as today we will be crossing the imposing Pebila, a mountain pass that stands at 3,575 meters above sea level.
You get used to the journey, and you get used to the pain and the hardship. As they say, no pain, no gain. And actually, at this moment, it's it's okay. It's been a really good experience, I think, and there's been so much teachings with Rinpoche, initiations and pujas, in a really beautiful natural environment.
Today we will be climbing the steep slope to Thoatra. The remote hermitage of Thoatra clings to the highest rocks above the north end of the Tang Valley. It is said that this holy monastery was founded by Khandru Mandarava, the Indian consort of Guru Rinpoche, and that the Guru himself is believed to have meditated here.
And most of the Bhutan's holy places are which we call in our Chökyi Ne Manyampa, which means Ne, which has not lost its blessings, because there has been no somebody sacking the monastery, destroying the monastery. So all the Rabne, all the blessings are very much there, and added by the many practitioners over the years. So Bhutan's holy places are one of the most pure, most authentic, probably in the world at this moment.
Today we are walking along the motorable road to Nyinjadh village in Ta. En route we visit Ta Rinpoche Monastery. Locals believe that the deity of the rock attacked Guru Rinpoche in the form of a tiger. Guru is then believed to have turned the deity into a rock.
It is said that, for example, there are some nekos are wrathful neko, some are peaceful. So if the peaceful means your ne Shiva, same Nyumamba Shiva, and then Parche Shiva. If it's a wrathful place, then Rangi, destroy your own negative emotions, destroy obstacles. So different names have different blessings.
We are back on the road and we start walking towards the famed burning lake, Mebartso, located in the southern part of the Tang Valley. In 1475, Terten Pema Lingpa is said to have dived into the water here and re-emerged with treasure relics, or Ter as they are known. It is believed to this day that people with less karmic death are able to see sacred sites when they receive blessings from the lake. Before the conclusion of the Pad Yatra, in the morning we visit Chambalhagang.
If nobody goes to pay respect to them, slowly these names will decline. Nobody will look after them. Nobody will be... If you think Buddha as a human being, it's kind of sad also that there's nobody to do offering to these Buddha, nobody to pay prostration to them. And the reason why Buddha statues are built is so that people will accumulate merit through these activity of chab.
After Chambalhagang, we make our way to Kurjelhagang. Kurje is one of the most sacred sites in Bhutan. Guru Rinpoche meditated here and left the imprint of his body on a rock. The 10th and final day of the Bumthang Pad Yatra finds us at Chambalhagang.
I can see that all the holy places, no matter how remote they are so well maintained. But that is because of the wisdom of their majesty. But in the future, if we ourselves do not appreciate them, sooner or later they will definitely go into the decline.
The 2014 Paro Pad Yatra was conducted from 20th to the 28th of October. The Yatra will cover 9 sacred monasteries and numerous holy sites that Paro has in abundance. There are 56 participants, 8 national and 48 foreigners.
I wanted to join this Pad Yatra in order to purify and bad karma and trying to be a better person after this yatra. And also I wanted to go to Bhutan since more than 10 years. It was like a dream child, so it's coming true. And it was like a dream going to Taksang and all these holy places.
Paro Taksang is the most prominent sacred site of Bhutan and Himalayan Buddhism. It was here that Guru Rinpoche flew on the back of a flying tigress from Maritika in Nepal and brought Buddhism to Bhutan.
When you practice in these names, it is said that some of the names are so full of blessing left by the great master of the past that if you meditate in one day in these is equivalent to 1 year meditation in other places.
The most beautiful experience is the evening and the morning sessions, the teachings. Each and every word is so precious. I feel that the teachings could go on forever, and you would still sit there.
The ninth and final day of the Pad Yatra is marked at the sacred grounds of Trakarpol Hagang with a Tsokor ceremony.
In terms of merits, it is said that if you walk even 7 steps saying that I am going to visit these holy places, there's a tremendous amount of merit. And the reason why as a Buddhist we say merit, sunaum, purification, is because as a Buddhist we believe or we understand that whatever is happening in our life, whatever experiences we are going through, we will go through, is not because somebody is controlling our destiny, not because everything is a chance, but everything is created by cause and condition, which is called Lejumde.
His Eminence the Gyalwa Dokhampa has championed the cause of environmental awareness by making this ancient practice of pilgrimage a modern-day spiritual means to understanding our world and ourselves better.
This journey has been have a lot meaning to me, and it means a lot because this is like a journey home, because we are so close to the nature and close to our inner nature as well.
I was very scared that I may not be able to keep up with the group because I'm not a good walker. But the ones who went in the past Pad Yatras said that they don't really walk fast, and then you are never left behind, and which I witnessed it myself this time, and I'm so glad that I joined because it's such a beautiful experience, and I'm really happy that I joined, and I wish to be part of every Pad Yatra in the future.
So for the 10 days, we will care only about our other beings, starting with our own, fellow participants on Pad Yatra. So I do believe that when you do such a thing, definitely there's inner transformation. And when inner transformation occurs, automatically in your speech and body, there will be transformation. And when you have transformed your body, speech and mind, basically you have transformed your life.